Okay, so hello everyone. I welcome you all to day two of our Data Analytics Bootcamp. Yesterday we looked at we began with the Excel yesterday, Excel for Data Analytics, where we look at some formulas throughout, and at the end we also look at some data analytic practice where we cleaned data and prepare data for analysis. We look at some data cleaning techniques, and today we are going to continue with our analysis, that is data analytics in Excel. But before we move on, yesterday the data we clean or we prepare, we want to explore and look at some analysis in it. So if you have yours, just open it. That is the unclean bike sale data. I've resaved mine, the clean one, as clean bike sale data. So if you have it, just open it. Once you are there, then we want to do some quick analysis, look at some of the things inside and explore some of the features inside. And then once we are done, then we move on with today's business. What we did yesterday, the Excel Data Analytics workbook. So if you have yours, you can just open it and then you will look at one or two things and then we move on. Today, the data set we'll be using, I will put it in the comment section. It's already in the description, but the one that we are going to use for today's analysis, the one we are going to use for today's analysis, it's already in the description, but I also put it in the comment section again. So yesterday we looked at some of the popular functions that we normally use in our analysis, and we want to just do a recap of them. And yesterday we started with the sum function. We look at the sum function, the average function, the count function, the mean function, the concat function, and many more. So we won't waste much time, but we are just doing a recap of what we learned yesterday. And once we are done with that, we will move on to today's business. Okay, so to begin with, we will look at the sum function. Yesterday we learned that the sum function, what we said was that the sum function is used to sum um, things together. So what we do is that we are finding a total. So we are looking at finding total. Just as we say that when you have 1 plus 1, 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4, what is the total? So what the sum function does is that if you have numbers, we have, for example, we are having 3, 6, 8, 9, 10, 11. And then how we use the sum function is that as soon as we say we want to use the sum function, what it means is that we are trying to add all of them together. So it's just it just means simple means that the 3 plus 6 plus 8 plus 9 plus 10 plus 11, and then all the workers, we will just select all of them. So that is the first and the second number actually, and then we close it. And then once we hit enter, it should give us the salary. This place has been formatted as a date function. So when you just change it to general, and then you get the sum total of all the salaries. Okay. So that is how you use the sum function. It doesn't mean that it's only used to find where to. They can use to calculate only two salaries. So for example, equal to sum, and then you want to sum up this, and then you also want to sum up this. So you just select the two of them. This one, you can just give comma, and then we select the next one and close it. Okay. Once we are done, yeah. Anytime we use the colon, it means that we are selecting a range. So you see, I use comma. So because I use comma, I was able to select only two things separate. But the time if I use colon, it means that I want to select the whole range from the first one to the last one. So you can see, if I, as soon as I change it, the comma over there to colon, it now select the range. So that's how we use the sum function. The sum if functions is just what we use to calculate for with the condition. The sum, you sum with the condition. So I want to sum, and I say sum if. So add these people for me. So I'll give a condition. So add all the salaries for me. And then it's asking me for the conditions. What is the condition? My condition is that you add all the salaries for me, but only if they are greater than 50,000. So only if the salary is greater than 50,000. So that one I'll put it in quotes. Greater than 50,000. And then I'll close my quotes. So it means that I'm adding only salaries that are greater than 50,000. That is what I'm trying to add. So that is how we use the sum if function. And then the sum ifs, in this case, we will give multiple conditions. Okay, so I can say equal to, and then sum ifs, and then so when you are typing, as soon as you start typing, the formulas will appear. If you can use the arrow key to select it, but don't click enter. Once you use the arrow key to highlight the function that you are looking for, you just have to press your tab key. Once you press the tab key, it's selected that functions and even give opened the first parenthesis for you. Then you specify the condition. So the range, what I want to add the salaries. So what is my first condition? Okay, what is the condition range? Where will I pick the condition? There is a condition, but where will I pick it from? Okay, I'll pick the condition from the gender. Then you go and select the gender, then you give. Now it's now asking for the condition, and the condition is I want to ask for only those that are male. And then I'll put that one in quotes, and I'll comma. And then it's asking for the next condition. Do I have any other condition? Yes, I have a condition. If I have a condition, then I'll go and select it. Okay, so I have another condition, and that condition I'm picking it from the job title. Okay, then I give comma. So it's asking me, what is the condition? Since you have a range, or you have a range for condition, then now give me the condition. Okay, so the condition, that one I'll put it in quotation mark, and then I want to ask sum up for those that are accountants. So I'll do that for the accountant, and then close the quote. And now I think I will say that if that is the end of all my conditions, now I'll just hit enter. As soon as you hit enter, it has to sum up all of them for you. So what did I miss? Accountant. You have two accountants. So okay, yeah, it's 0. The first condition is male, and from here we don't have any male accountant. The two accountants are all female, so it's giving us 0, and it's correct. So that is how we use the sum functions. Similarly, the same thing to the sum the average functions, the count function, it's also the same thing. And then we go to the mean function and the max functions. The mean function and max function, we are using it to find the minimum and then the maximum of a value. So if I come to the mean function, first of all, let me change the whole of this one to general because it's actually date function. So if I say that I want to find the minimum salary, once I said equal to mean and then I select the salary. So what is the minimum salary here? It has to give me the minimum salary, and it's true, that's the minimum salary. So the opposite is the maximum salary. Okay, it will locate the maximum salary for me. Now I want to go back to the counts and mention something. With the count, it counts. Okay, it will count for you. It will count, though the conditions are the same, but then here we are counting. So if I use count functions over here, it means that I'm trying to find out the number of values that we have over here. Okay, so it will count for us. So if I use the equal to, I say equal to count, and I select the range, it's going to count for me. And again, it's in a date function form, so we choose a general. Good. So it's now counted. It will count it and give me the answer. Okay. So that is it. And then when you come to the concat function, this is it will just join. Okay, it will both the test joint and the concat function. So it will just join two things together. And with the concat function, you can use it to create even Gmail accounts or something. If, for example, we have the name, first name and second name, but if you want to put all of them together, how do we do it? You can use the test joint or the concat function. So if I said I want to join the two together, equal to, I'll use the concat, I'll say concat, and then I'll select the first test, this one, okay, and then because I want space to be between them, I will give comma, and then I'll open my quotes and give small space and also close it, comma again. Now I can choose the second test. Okay, the second test, this one. So I can now close it. As soon as I hit enter, it put all of them together for me. So that's what the concat function do. And if I want to create email for all of them, all that I need to do is that I'll just need to do concat, and then instead of putting a space between, I'll just put all of them together or put a dot between them and then add the at gmail.com, and then it will create for me. So for example, equal to concat, and then I will say the first test, that is John, and then I will say that dot, okay, or I won't bother myself, so I'll just select the two of them so that we just, oh sorry, equal to concat, and then select the two of them, comma, and then I will open quotes and set at gmail gmail.com and close it. Once I hit enter, it has to create email for me. So that is one way to use the concat function. Okay. The left and right functions, we use it to select tests. Okay. For the left function, we use it to select from left to right, and then from right we use it for the right function, we use it to select from right to left. The mid function we use it to select from a middle to any particular number of characters we want, but we have to specify the starting and the end. So that is how we use the concat function. The left and right function. The length function we use to calculate the number of characters. That is the length of the whatever text that we have. So for example, if I want to know the length of the sale manager, all that I will do is equal to, then I'll use the length function and select the text. Once I close it, that is all. I mean, it's a date function. The box has been selected as date function. Good. So that is dating. So it's showing that dating character. That is the name. So that is it. The find and replace. We use it to replace and change certain things, and it's very good when we are doing um, when we are actually doing um, data cleaning, where we can remove other things. This is similarly the trim function. We use it to remove spaces. Now you can see that there are some spaces all over here. So I can just say that equal to, then I'll use the trim function, and I'll select here so that it will clear away both spaces back and forth. Okay, back and forth. So you can now see that John has moved to the beginning, that is the left. Meanwhile, here there are spaces there, but then with the trim function, it will clear them. One important thing about the trim is that it doesn't care about where the spaces, it's clear them, whether it's between front, back, it clear them and then write them all for you. So that is about the trim function. Okay. So that is a small recap of what we did yesterday. Okay. That's a small recap of yesterday. And we will want to move on to today's business. And in today's business, we want to look at the data set that we cleaned yesterday just to explore one or two things of it. And then once we are done the exploration, we would move quickly to um, doing developing visualization. That's an data analytic dashboard where we can use to analyze case or answer some questions. Okay, so yesterday the data set that we have, we cleaned the data set already. However, we were not done with the cleaning. We only did the normal clean where we remove all the duplicates, we fill in the missing values and other stuffs. However, when you come to the financial part, we didn't clean all of them. We didn't remove all of them. Now, the first thing I want to do over here is that I want to remove the dollar, the dollar symbol over here. I want to just make it general. Good. Now, let's look at them very well. So the first thing we want to do is that we will let's select everything and then go to filter, sort and filter, and then we want to filter something. Now our focus is on what? If you look at the unit price, the unit cost and all the this, you realize that we are having zero unit cost, zero unit price, and at some point we have zero revenue. The one that we have yesterday, there wasn't any revenue, but you can calculate it. When we want to, how do you calculate revenue or cost? The cost is simply the unit cost times the quantity. Okay, that is the cost. And yesterday, as I said, the unit cost simply is the cost of that is the expenses, the small cost, the cost of the item, whilst the unit price is the price of the item, that how the price that it has been sold. So that is the two differences, the cost and then the price. Okay, now we can't have an item where we have a quantity, the quantity number, and then we have a zero unit price or zero unit cost. It's not possible. So it means that during the data entry there is a mistake somewhere. So how do we do? We can check them very well and then find out how we can fix those mistakes, how we can be able to fix those mistakes. If you look at it, it seems that they are only two at the top, and they are the reason why we are getting the cost of zero and then a profit, what do you call it, a revenue of zero as well. Now, if you want to find the cost, the cost of the item, all that we need to do is that cost is equal to the unit cost times quantity, the unit cost times quantity. So when you look at here, we say that we are having K2 times L2, which is the unit cost times quantity. And how do we do that? Let me clear. All that we need to do is that if I want to calculate the unit cost, you can use the times function equal to, then we select this one times, then use the asterisk symbol. That is the times we use here. And then you select the one, what you want to do. Once you hit enter, it's supposed to give you the final answer, which is what we are having here. So the unit cost, which is what we have here. Similarly, the unit price is this one times this one. Now, when you look at over here, we see that we are having 0, but we can't have a 0 unit cost and a 0 unit price. So there is something wrong somewhere, and we need to fix it. And how do we fix it? All that we need to do is just to locate which bike description is that, and we are having a mountain 200 black 46 bike. That is two of them. Two of them is saying that 0. Wow. So how do we fix that? All that we need to do is that we need to filter again. And during the filtering, we are going to filter the descriptions, and we have to locate only this category of bikes and see how much they cost. How much they cost. Once we know how much one costs somewhere, we can be able to fix that. So it's mountain 200 black 46. So all that we need to come to filter. That is why we introduce the filter again. So it's mountain 200 black 46. This one. So it means that you need to uncheck all of them and check only this one. Okay, and then okay. So you can see that this is it, mountain, and then you can see all of them here. And from what you can see here, you can see that even one, the unit cost, you can see that the cost for one of them is actually 1,252, which means that there is a typo mistake. Okay, there's a typo mistake, so we need to fix this. So all that we need to do is just to type it. And since it's only one, you can see only one here. We just need to type that one over here, 1252, and then we hit enter. So as soon as we do that, we can see that the one over here too has been fixed. Okay. The unit cost over here too has been fixed. Okay. So that is it. And then we are done. So we are done with that one. Then we need to go and check the second one too. So we can now select all. Okay. And we are done with that. And here too, you can come and fix it. So this one too is mountain 400 W silver 42. So you come here, mountain 400 W 42, mountain 400 W silver 42 is this one. So we also check okay, and that one we can see the unit cost 769. So 769, and then that one the revenue has been fixed. So that is the fixing. We have fixed all of them, and then we can now go back to it. So now we are done with the fixing of our error. And once we are done with the fixing of the error, we can quickly move on to other business. We can quickly move on to anything else that we want to do. Okay. So here we can even explore some of them. We can insert. We want to understand the prices very well. So we can do that by going to and inserting pivot table just to explore the price differences and other things. So first thing that we need to do is we want to insert pivot table to analyze the data. We want to understand what is happening in the price, the revenue against each other, and see what is happening. So you will click here. When you come to insert, once you click on insert, you will see pivot table here. So you go to insert pivot table, then you click on OK. You hit on it, and then we want to create it in a new worksheet. We want to open a new worksheet. We don't want to create it here, so we just create a new worksheet because it's already selected. If we choose this one, it means that we want to create a new web. We don't want that. We just want to create a new worksheet, and then you click on OK. So it will open a new worksheet for us, and then the pivot table here. I want to rename it. so that things will be easy for us. So all that I will do is that I want to rename this one as data sheet. So data sheet. I want to name it data sheet. And then I'll come here. This one I want to name it pivot table, or maybe analysis. Yes, I want to name it analysis. Good. So I have my pivot table here, and the pivot table has fields. This is giving us match revenue. Okay, it's giving us match revenue, which is 1,000, 135,000, 135,000, 784. So in essence, in actual sense, it's supposed to also give us more revenue. Okay, and let's look at more profit. Let's look at the profit and see if that is the case. We could clearly see that yes, it's giving us more profit as well. That is 61,413. So we could clearly see that they generate more, we get more revenue from there, and the profit too is quite good. Okay, but we can't also ascertain that indeed the profit is good. We cannot still conclude that the profit is also good, because the cost will determine how much do we spend there. Okay, once we are able to know how much we spend there, it could be that even though Germany is generating less revenue, we the what do you call it, the cost in over there is lesser compared to all of them. And if that happened, we could get more returned, more than it could happen that the return over there is higher than everyone. Okay, so we don't have to base on only one or two to conclude that yes, US is or United States is actually generating. We have to look at all the cases. We have to actually do all the analysis, look at every loophole, try to check if there is any loophole somewhere, and figure out everything before. Okay, so it could also happen that the cost that we spend, what we spend in a particular country, is lesser than what we actually generate, or what we generate compared to, when you compare the two, the cost and the revenue, then this one is far better. Okay, the revenue we are getting from Germany could be that is because they are not spending much over there, or maybe there's no more product there. You don't have much product over there. That is why. Eh, it could say so many things. So when we are doing analysis, all of these things have to come in mind. We need to be thinking about so many things, so many cases, so many scenarios. What if this? What is the case of this? Should this happen? What would be the case if this change? What would be the case? And when we are able to think far about all these things, we can be able to narrow our answer to a particular thing, and then finally come with a conclusion. So that is how we do. We explore to understand what is happening, trends and other stuff that is happening. And the next thing we could also look at is that now that we have been able to see some of these things, we can visualize them. We can do visualization to see what is actually happening anywhere. So we 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 can actually come and then visualize our data to see um them by visual, to see all some of these things by visualization. Okay, so even over here, since they are already good, since they are um already good, we can insert chart, and then we will do it either by country or gender or whatever you want to do. Okay, so we are already having a pivot table here. Okay, I can select this, and then I'll visualize it by chart. So if I want to do that, I will come here and then I'll insert charts, any of the charts that I want. If I want um if I want maybe pie chart, I'll select any of this. You have the donut chart, the pie chart, the 3D, and then the normal pie chart, that's the 2D. You could also look out for column charts. You could also look out for the tree map, and then others. So that is some of the visualization tech tools that we have. You could also use the scatter plot and other stuff. Now, all of these are part of the data visualization techniques. We will look at more of this when we start analyzing the large data that we are going to look at today to develop a dashboard. But one thing that I want to point to you is that when you are doing all these things, you take notice of all of them, and our conclusion will not be based on only one. But then make sure that we analyze everything, find every loophole, so that we make good conclusion. So that we make good conclusion. Okay. Now, if we are not careful, we may make a conclusion, we may come up with a conclusions which at the end of the day it's not actually what it's supposed to be. It doesn't even defeat or it doesn't fit into the scenario or the cases that we are looking at, because maybe we were blinded by only one outcome and we couldn't look at the other side. So once you are doing analysis, you have to open your mind and be looking out for thinking about so many possibilities, and that opens so many doors for you, so that you look out for this one, you look out for option A, and then option B, option C. Once you explore all of them, then you come out with your results. So that is one of the ways that we look out for, we analyze our data. For example, when we come here, we could choose to visualize, to see, just as what we have done over there, the age group against any of this. What is happening? Is there any differences in do we have any differences in the age group, the gender, and the country? Do they have any is there any significant difference between them? Okay, is there any difference? And when you begin to explore this, then you have in mind that you are going deep into statistics, where you have to go deep to analyze and see whether there is a differences in their prices. For example, we have the groups here. Okay, we have three groups over here, and the group A is what do you call it? The group A is between 15 to the age group 15 to 24, and then the group B becomes the 25 to 34. The group C becomes 35 to 64, and with their corresponding sum of revenue. The question is that, do we have differences in this particular price? You could see that maybe you are seeing it as there are differences, but it could happen that there is no difference. There is no match. The difference over there is not even significant based on the age group. It could happen that the difference over there is not, it's not even matched. It cannot be considered. It shouldn't even be regarded. Okay, it shouldn't be regarded at all. So when we think about this, then we begin to find out deep, and that is where we go to look out for um statistical analysis, to look out for some other things that could help us to be able to understand this. Okay. Now, let's assume that we have a data set, a three group data set, and then we want to explore the differences. We are looking out for um we are looking out for the difference between them. We are asking ourselves, is there any difference between maybe option A, option B, option C? Okay, let's make it a more specific. Let's say as a teacher, you are teaching students, but you have class A, and then class B, and then class C. So you have students grouped in those classes A, B, C, and then you are the only one teaching all of them. Now, in group one, you taught them something with a different method. In group B, you also taught the same group the same thing, but this case you use a different method. And in group C, in the class C, you also taught the same thing, also with a different method. Now, if you want to know, is there any difference or has there been any difference in your teaching method? If you want to analyze this, then we have to resort to probably statistical analysis. We have to look out for what is making the differences between the three of them. Okay, so in that case, this is how it becomes. So we have this. Let's say we have group A. So I'll just make it group A, group B. So one group supposed to be here. So this is B, this is C. Okay. So we have three groups, and then we have some elements between them. So the people over here, and then there are also another people over here. Okay. So let's say that we taught them with the same thing but with different methods, and then we give them exam. So the score. So we want to, maybe these people, we have 3, 6, and so on, 4, and so on, 6, and so on. So they varies, but we want to know that has there been any difference between these three groups? Maybe their performance, maybe the way my teaching, how I taught them in different ways, or maybe their scores. Is there any difference between their scores? Is there anything? If there is anything, then we have to find a way to solve it. Okay. In this case, we are using statistics. So we want to look, and we are asking ourselves a question. Okay. Or maybe we are as we are the analyst, and then the the teacher is asking us a question, showing us the results of this, and he's saying that is there any difference between the two of them and the three of them? In this case, we will resort to statistics, and in this particular case, we will set assumptions that for ourselves, and in the process also answer those same assumptions to answer the question. So let's look at a demo. And when this happen, because there are three groups, when this happen, one of the techniques that we can use is the analysis of variance. We can use the analysis of variance, and which is simply called ANOVA. So we will simply use ANOVA. That is analysis of variance. So that's what we are going to use to analyze it. Okay. So let's just give us a demo data. Let's create a sheet for here over here. And then let's say this is group 1. So this is group A. And then we have group B. And then we have group C. And in each different patient, and we want to also know whether there is a difference between the recovery time between the different patients, or maybe we've administered the same drug to 3 different patients, and we want to also look out for whether we want to see whether there is we recorded this recovery time. So record the recovery time. So after all the recordings, we now want to see whether there is a difference between the recovery time of all the 3 groups of patients that we were using. We could use this method to do the analysis, and we can just simply use ANOVA to do our analysis. So this is what we have. We have this data set, and now what do we do? Now, I mentioned something. I said ANOVA. ANOVA is just a statistical method that we use to compare the mean of 3 groups. So what we are going to do is that it means that we want to compare the mean of this group A, group B, group C. We want to compare the 3 of them. And then assumption is that yes, there is a difference. You need to agree. Assumption is that yes, there is a difference. You need to agree that yes, there is a difference between that there is a difference between at least one of the group. Maybe group C is different. Maybe the mean of group C is different. Maybe the mean of group B is different. Okay, so it's like this. Once we agree to say that, we will say that the first assumption we say that one, we are saying that no difference between the mean, no difference between the mean of all groups. So we are saying that there's no difference between the mean of all the three groups. And then the second assumption is that we are agreeing that yes, they are different. Okay, so yes, they are different between the mean, in the mean of all the three groups. So those are the two things. But this is not how we write it. We have to write it more professionally, and we can, even when you write it this way, there's nothing wrong. Okay, but you can't write it as a data analyst. You can also write it better. That, oh, okay, the there is no mean. All the mean are equal. Simple. That is the first one. All the means are equal. Second, the means are not equal. All the means are not equal. Since that I'm talking about, they are called in statistics, they are called the null hypothesis. We are setting hypothesis, and then that is the null and then the alternate hypothesis. And with the null hypothesis, we say that it is represented by H naught, okay, or HO. So we say that the first one is the null. Let me change that. So the first one is the null hypothesis. The first one is that there is the null hypothesis, and it is donated by H naught. Okay. The second one is the alternate hypothesis. Alternate hypothesis. Alternate hypothesis. And that one is donated by H1. Okay. H naught and H1. Okay. So those are the two hypotheses that we set. So the first one, we are saying that there is no, we are saying that the first one, we are saying that if I'm setting it, I'm saying that H naught, no difference between the mean or the mean of all three groups. All groups have equal mean, or the mean of all the three groups are equal. So let me use the mean of all groups are the mean of all groups are equal. Then the second one, H1, and say that the mean of all groups are different. The mean of groups are different. Okay, or there is at least, okay, at least one group, the mean of one group is different. At least it's, so that is what the alternate hypothesis is saying. Okay, so this is how we set our null hypothesis. The understanding is that the alternate hypothesis, the null hypothesis, that's the first one, is saying that the three groups has equal means. They all have equal means. And then the second one is saying that they don't. So that is the the understanding. Now, the next thing that we, out of this, we over here, we are looking at the F statistics. With the F statistics, we are saying that the F statistics, the next thing is that we are looking out for the F statistics. So the F statistics, we are saying that it through this it will measure the variations. It will measure the variation between the means, the groups. To measure the variation between the groups, the mean of all groups or just the groups. Now, the variation here we are referring to the spread of the data points within the data set, the spread. We are looking at the how wide they are from each other, how wide they are from each other. That is the each group, how wide are they from each other. So we look at for the F statistic, which talk about the variations of the data set. The higher the F statistics indicates that more variations are between the groups compared to within the groups. Okay, so it talks about if the variation is high, it's showing that okay, we have what do you call it? We have a variabilities, more variability between groups compared to within groups. And then the next thing we also look at is the p-value. The p-value is just the probability that the observed results occur by chance. Okay, it's just that we are looking at the observed value, the result over there occur by chance. And then we commonly compare it and measure it with what do you call it? The alpha value. Okay, that one is we pick a commonly, we have a common value, and that common value is 0.05. Though you can use 0.01, you can use 1. It's just a value that we get. How confident you are that okay, this particular thing will occur. And the 0.05 that we are talking about is actually 95%. Okay, 95%. So we are looking at for the 95%. We are 95% confident that this is will happen, or the mean between the group, the mean between all groups. We are 95% confident that oh sorry. So we are 95% confident that the there is significant difference, or there's no significant difference between the groups. So it's just your confidence interval. But with your F statistics, it's talk about variation. Okay. Now we have two types of, when you are using the ANOVA, you have the one-way ANOVA and then the two-way ANOVA. Okay. The that is, we have two types of the ANOVA, but we won't talk about much into it. We are not going to dive more deep into it. It's because I want to show that is what I'm talking about. All these things. Understand. If you don't understand it, don't worry. It's a full statistics on its own. It's full statistics that you have to learn on its own. You have the F statistics, sorry, the ANOVA, the one-way ANOVA, the two-way ANOVA. We have the T test. There are so many tests. We have so many tests that we can't do. So as time goes on, probably you will take one time and focus more on statistics, where we talk about all the statistical analysis and how we can come out with all the decisions. So the significant level that we normally use over here is the 0.05. That is, we indicate that becomes our alpha value, and that is what we use to measure whether we should reject the two questions that we set for ourselves over here, whether we should reject it or we should accept it. Okay, that is what we use to indicate, should we accept that yes, there is the mean of all groups are equal, or we should reject that the mean of all groups are different. So which one? So the significant level, which is the 0.05, is actually what we use to measure. and we use the p-value, okay, the p-value to measure that. So as I said, the p-value will help us decide whether we should reject the first assumption or we should accept it and reject the second assumption. Okay. Now, I said that the p, we normally use it, compare it with 0.05. Okay. So it says that if we have a p-value after our calculation, we have a p-value which is less than 0.05. If our p-value that we will get in our solution, we have to compare it with this particular one. If it is less than this particular one, then it means that we need to reject that the null hypothesis, which we stated that the mean of all groups are equal. If we have our p-value that we will calculate after the calculation, when our p-value that we get, if it is less than this particular 0.05, then it means that the assumption that we made for ourselves, that the first one, the null hypothesis, which is say that the mean of all groups are equal, we should reject it. It's saying that we should reject it. This means that there is a strong evidence that at least one group has a different mean. At least one of the group, they have different mean. One or two groups have different. The mean of one or two groups are different. Okay. So as soon as the p-value is greater than this value, we say that we accept the null hypothesis and say yes, our first assumption is correct. Our first assumption is correct. So indeed, all the mean between all groups, you know, they are not different. There's no difference between the mean groups. So it means that the data set is correct. So that's what we talk about. Okay. So now let's look at let's go back to the small Excel sheet that we have and look at that quickly. So this is what we have. Now to use the ANOVA, all that we need to do is that we need to just do a short analysis of this one, and it's just by a click of a button, and then it will give everything to us. Now to do that, we need to go to the data tab. And once you get to the data tab, then you can just go and pick data analysis. Now if you don't have that, don't worry. All that you need to do, if you don't have it yet, all that you need to do is that you should just need to go to the file. Just click on file and go to options down here. So once you go to option here, then you click on it. When you click on it, then you come to add in. You just come to add in, and then you click on this one. So as soon as you click on this one, come to manage add in. That's the manage add in, and then click on go. Okay. As soon as you click on it, it will pop up the add in for you. So you have several analysis tool packs over there. Okay. The first one is the analysis tool pack. The second one is analysis tool pack. That's VBA. Then we have the euro currency tool. We have the solver add-in also. Okay. So we are interested in the analysis tool pack. Okay. So the first one, we are interested in that one. Just check it. Once you check on it, just click OK, and then just wait a few minutes. It will pop up over here. So when you go to data tab, you will see it over here. So that's the analysis tool. So we want to use it to do analysis of this data. So we have set our assumptions. Okay, we have set our assumptions. So let's see this. Yeah. So okay. So we have the null hypothesis, that's the H naught, and we are saying that the mean of all three groups, we said that the mean of all the mean of all three groups are the same. And then you are the the H naught. We are saying that the mean of there's a difference between the mean group. That's the opposite of this one. So that's what we are saying. We are saying that there is a difference between the mean of all of them. So we want to analyze to see that, to check if indeed the mean of all the three groups are the same or there is a difference, which is the alternate hypothesis. Okay, so that's what we want to do. All right. Okay. So once we click over here, let me select. So once we click over here, we are going to have the ANOVA. Okay, ANOVA. But now I want to look out for the, what do you call it? Only one way ANOVA. Okay. So we are trying to do a single factor. Okay, I selected a double factor, that is two factor first. So it's single factor, and then you select all your data sets, and then the output rate. So you can see that the alpha value is already specified over here. So if you don't want, this is not what you are looking for, and you want to change it, you can change it to the alpha value that you want to use. Okay, and then the outputs, I want it to be on the same sheet. So I'll select where I want the result to be. I'll select where I want the result to be. I'll select just only one place and click on OK. And now I'll just come and hit then input range container numerical value. Okay. Okay. So the reason why it's saying that inputs contain non-numerical value is that all the range I've selected is having a header. Okay, there's a header part as part of it. If you look at the data set, you can see that. Let me close it. This one. You can see that it has a header. Okay, so with this particular header, you have to indicate in your analysis that yes, there is a header. Okay, so let's just go back to it and then select the range. It's already selected for us, but you just have to check this box that yes, there's a header, and then you click OK. So it will automatically do your analysis for you. And when you come here, you can see all of them. Uh, oh, okay, so good. Trying to make it okay. I think this should be okay. So now we can, because first I indicated that there is a polycat there I didn't indicate that we have a label that is a header. It gives me an error, but you have to check if your data has a header and then you selected the header as part of it. You have to check. Okay, it's always good to select the header as part of it because it will have to write those headers over there for you to indicate that. So let's look at the result. So this is the result of the ANOVA, and we use only single factor. Okay, with a single factor. Now you can see the summary. First of all, it will look out for the number of data sets for it to count the data set for each group for us. And then you can see it's 11. So it's up to 12, where the first one is the header. Okay, it's not, you don't necessarily need to turn this one to a table, your data set to a table before you do analysis. You can't just do it straightforward and it will work. Okay, but I prefer to turn it to a table. All right, so we also have this one. When you look over here, we are having it's calculating the sum for us, the total, the sum for all. It's calculating the average. It's also calculating the variance. Okay. Now, this is our main ANOVA results. Okay. This is our main ANOVA results. We can see within group, between group also, and then you can see that we have the F statistics. The F statistics is this one. This one is just F critical. The F critical value is actually picked from the F table. Okay, but in Excel, it's embedded in Excel. So if you are doing a manual calculation, that is where you have to go and look for the table and read from it. But in over here, it's already embedded in Excel, so you don't need to go and calculate anything. Now, this is our p-value. Okay, this becomes our p-value, where this one becomes the F statistics. It's showing us the variation. This is the variation we have, and our focus is on this one. It's showing the p-value of 0.6, 0.6, 0.6. Now, in my earlier statement, I said that if the p-value is greater or if the p-value is greater or equal to 0.05, if it's greater, that is, if it is less than 0.05, we reject the null hypothesis. Okay, we reject the assumption that the mean of all groups are equal or there is no difference between them. If the p-value is less than that, we reject it. So on contrary, it means that if the p-value is greater than the 0.05 or equal to that 0.05, it means that we have to fail to reject the null hypothesis. And then we have to conclude that the difference between groups means are not significant. There is no difference between them. There's no difference between them. You just have to conclude that there's no difference between them. So that is what we do. So over here, based on this particular result, based on this particular result, we can say that we can confidently say that the mean of we can confidently say that the mean between all groups are the same, and we can fail to reject this one. We can fail to reject the first one. Okay, and then we can just conclude and say that we fail to reject the null hypothesis. We fail to reject the null hypothesis with the conclusion that the mean of all groups are the same or are equal. Okay. So that is how we do our analysis. That is how we do this analysis, and these are some of them. This is just one or two of them. This is just one of them. There are many. There are many methods that we use. There are many methods that we use. We have the t-test that we use, the chi-square, and many more. There are many, and that one is a full statistics on its own. So that one, this will bring us to the end of this one, and then now we now look at a data analysis project. Okay, we now look at a data analysis project where we use to use as a project combine all that we have learned into developing analyzing a large data set to come up with a report and to back a decision, okay, and make a meaning out of data. So we are going to combine everything together to analyze our data. All right. Now the link to the data set is already in the description, but I will add it to in the chat as well. I'll send it to the in the chat as well. Just click on it and then you download it. Once you are set, you can keep on going. Okay, so we have the link in the link to the data set in the description. So just look at it and then you are good to go. So let's look at the data set is road accident data set. I can close this one. Okay, so this is our data set. Okay, this is our data set that we have. We have been asked to we have this large data set which contains a lot of rows. If we select everything, we can see that the data set contains it counts a lot, but the number of rows is over almost 3 million. So when you jump down of the data set, okay, 300,000. So 300,000. That's a lot. So this is a very large data set. Okay. So this is a very large data set. It's just a fictional data set, large data set downloaded from Kaggle. And then here we want to do a short analysis. Okay, it's a road accident data set. Okay, so we have to do a data cleaning. We want to do a full analysis, and then the focus of this analysis is to get insights from the data in order to be able to prevent road accidents. We want to know the fatalities, the casualties, and so many other things that have been affecting us on our road. Okay. So the question is that the owner of these data sets, or perhaps the company that gave us this tax, is asking us to, they want to know the first thing. They want to look at the they also want to look at the percentage of total casualties with respect to uh, severity. If you look at the data sets, you realize that um, we have so many things in the data. For example, we have the number of cars, we have the accident severity, and so many other things. So we have to the first thing that we need to do over here is that we need to do data cleaning. Okay, we have to clean the data, process the data, and then do our analysis. And in the process, in the analysis, we have to visualize the data and then prepare a report. Either we prepare a report or we tell a story with our data, and in the process, we develop an interactive dashboard. Here is that the for us to make meaning out of this data, we want to develop a dashboard. We want to combine all that we have learned to clean the data, to develop an interactive dashboard for the our clients. Okay, so some of the things that our clients want to understand or want to know is the total casualties, the percentage of total casualties, the total casualties by vehicles, the monthly trend showing comparison of current year versus previous year. So, what are some of the what is happening? Is this the rate of accident prevention? Is it improving, or still the rate of accident is increasing compared to the previous year? The distribution of the casualties by road surface, is it that the road surface is actually, what is the cause when we have the road surfaces, the accidents happening? What is the difference in the road surfaces? Okay, so you want to look at to all this, and in doing so, we have to clean the data, process the data, and then do start our analysis, and after that we conclude with the data visualization. So this is a very large data set. Okay, so the first thing that we need to do, just as we learned yesterday, data cleaning process, the first we need to do is we are going to highlight everything, and then introduce, you highlight everything or select everything, then you are going to introduce filter. Okay, so we introduce our filter, and once that we are done with our filter, we introduce the filter, we start looking out for what is happening in the data set, where we can spot any missing value, where you can spot any missing value. Okay, so I want to open some spaces over here so that I can really see the data set very well. Okay, so now let's begin by checking where we have the road, the accident index. It may not be important to us, but we won't delete it, and then we won't worry ourselves as well, because it's a lot. So it's all unique. So we won't bother ourselves with it. All that we do is that let's start with the accident date. Let's see if we are having any differences over here. So it's telling us that there are two only 2 years. This data set consists of only 2 years. By this, we can see that we have this, and then we also have the second year, and there's nothing wrong with this, so it's okay. We also look at the days. Okay, we don't have any duplicate day, and everything looks normal to us, so this one is also okay. Junction control. Do you have any? We don't have any problem here too. So we take our time to look out for any missing value, any duplicate, any spelling mistake, and then that's it. Okay, you also have fatal, serious, slight. By chance you could see that we don't have anything like fatal. So maybe typing mistake, it was fatal that year, and then they made that mistake, which means that we have some cleaning to do here. So let's just go and come back. Latitude, we won't focus much there. We only focus there if we have longitude, if you want to look at for the demography by map, if you want to visualize on map, so you could also focus there. But since that is not a requirement, or since you won't do that, you can just ignore. So over here too, we have daylight, darkness, 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 and then the darkness are separated into so many ways. We have lighting unknown, lights, lit, light. Oh, so many things over here, which means that here too we can do a cleaning. All of them are supposed to be darkness. So though they have different conditions, but we can put all of them together. And then carriage hazard, that is carriage hazard. So we have many. We have blank over here, and we don't know what that blank means. Let's observe it and see. Okay, there are so many blanks. All right. So okay, and this one too. There are so many other things over here. All right. So we can now start cleaning our data. Okay, we can now start cleaning our data. Now the first thing that we need to do is that we want to correct this particular area. So you select it, and then just as I said this, you just use your Control F, or come and click on this one, and then you select replace. Okay, find and replace. So once that you choose that, then what are we looking out for? What do you want to find? You want to find fatal, and then you want to replace it with fatal. So you have fatal accident, and then replace all. So you could see that there were many of them. That is 49. So we want to replace all of them. And then once you are done, you close it. So you can now go and check again. And then you could see that yes, that is so. Now the next thing that we want to look at again is, now we want to also look out for, we have day of week here, the date and the day of week, but we don't have the year. Sorry, we don't have the year, and also we don't have the month. Okay, so what we will do is that you create a new space. You create a new space, insert new area. Let's insert 2, and then you have to extract month and year from the date. So the first one here, I will want to extract the month. Okay, and then over here, I will want to use, I can use the test function. I can also use the what do you call it? The the date function, and extract the year and the month. You can also use just as the way left and right function, where for the left you can extract from right 4, from the fourth from the last, and then you count 4. Okay, but in this case I'll just use the text function to just extract. So we say equal to, then we say test. Okay, that is test to date function, and then okay, then we select the value. Where do you want to? You want to, it's located here, comma. Then now what we want to select the month. Okay, this column over here is already specified as a date function. So because it's a date function, when we want to extract, then we are using text. What all that we do is you select the format of the text, the format of the date that we want, how we want it, format of the text. And in this case, it's a date. So, and we want month. So just as we learned yesterday, we have the DD, the MM, and then the year YYY. Okay. So, but because we want only the M part, we have to specify. If we have to specify 3 or 4. If we want a short month, that is for example, if it is January, we want only the JAN, then we use the MMM. Okay. If you want the full one, then we use the MMM, the 4M. So what you do is open our distance, and then use 1, 2, 3, 4. I want the full one, and then go close it and hit enter. Okay, so it instantly it give me January. It pick it out of this one, January. So all that I will do is that I'll just double click this icon over here. Once I send it there, it become plus. Once I double click, it will just automatically generate all for me. Okay, and now I can look at it and see that yes, I have all my dates generated, all my months generated. Okay, for me. Okay, so I'll go to the year. I'll type year. I want year over here, and this one I'll use the same thing, test. But instead of me, and I'll come and say, instead of me to choose and use I'll use, then I'll close the quote, and then I'll get my year. Okay, so also just double click, and then it will generate everything for you. And once everything has been generated, when you check, you see you have only 2 years. You see 2021 and 2022. All right. So that is that. We've added new things, and we can come and do some other works over here as well. So we have the vehicle type. The vehicle type over here, we can do some calculations over here, but we don't worry ourselves much. Let's go. Let's start our analysis. Okay, and we rename this one as our data tab. Okay, so we have the data sheet. We have the data sheet, and then you go to insert and choose pivot table. So we want to begin with our analysis. Open a new sheet. Okay, so it's process it. We have a very large data set, so some of the things would have to process a while. So this is analysis sheet. All right. So yeah, this is now we now have to begin our analysis. Okay, you have to begin analysis one by one, and then you have to go and look at joined dashboard. Okay, so I want to switch them. Okay, so the first thing that I want to look at for, I have to go back to locating the total casualties. So I have to look at how to find the total casualties. So we go to put the number of casualties here, and then I'm looking at to when we come to the data sheet, we have the name as accident severity. So look at for accident severity. Good. So once we have this, we can now locate, we now have this as accident severity. Okay. So you can see the distribution of the accident severity. You have the fatal, the serious, the slight. Okay. And then what we have to do, what we want to do is just very simple. We want to find the percentage of all of them. Okay. The percentage of all of them. So, and then that will help us determine um, what is at stake. Okay. So what I'm going to do over here is that now, because we want to find the percentage of them, and because we will also want to visualize it, you will find the percentage of them, each of them against the others. So for example, if we take the fatal, we will find the percentage of fatal against the rest of them. Okay. So I want to create this, copy this out of this one, the pivot table, and put it aside, so that that one, it will also help me be able to draw my if I want to do the visualization, I can do it from there without going back to the pivot table. Okay. So what I'll do is that I would give a heading as fatal casualties. So casualties, fatal casualties, and then good. So I'll take the first one as fatal, and then I will also write others. So over here, I'll say equal to, and then I'll come and get this data. Now, as soon as I click on this one, it's saying that get pivot data, and then just hit OK, and then that same number comes. If that yours doesn't happen this way, okay, if yours didn't come, once that you are in the pivot table, just come to the pivot section, the pivot table and analyze, and then click here and choose option. So when you click on options, it's over here. You check it. If yours is not checked, just come here and then check it, and you are good to go. It will be activated for you. Okay. So now the others I'll say equal to, and then I'll come and add this one. I'll say this one, and I'll type plus the second one. Okay, this one, then the second one. I think I made mistake somewhere. So go to the formula, clean everything, and then start again. Equal to. So is the first one, this one, serious, plus this one, slight, and I'll hit enter. Okay. So what I'm doing over here is that I want to find the percentage of fatal. Okay. And I want to use it to draw, and I want to make it like, okay, the fatal, this is the percentage, and I'll do the same thing for that of the serious and that of slight as well. But in this case, because I want to find the percentage against each other, so over here the fatal, I'm finding the percentage against all this, and when I go to the serious, do the same thing. Okay, so this is how I'm going to do over here. So this is where I'll calculate my percentage, and all that I will do is that I will say equal to, I'll select this, and I'll divide it by the total. Okay, just pick the total like this, and then you are good to go. So when you pick the total, it will Wow. Okay. It didn't pick the first one. This one equal to this one divided by the total. So it should give you this as the percentage. Okay. So once you click, you double click it, it calculate the percentage of the second one as well. So okay, in this one, when you check it, it's this one, this cell divided by the total. Okay. So all that I will do is that I'll just undo this process. Okay. So oh, I'll select these two and format it as percentage. Okay, and give it the 0 point. I'll say that I'll give it 1 decimal place. All right. So this is the for factor. Okay. Let me change put the color here. Make it. So I'll do same for serious. Okay. Do same for serious casualties. And once I am here, I'll say serious, and I'll say others. Right. And equal to, I'll pick the serious. Okay. And then others, I'll say equal to the first one, this one, plus the slight. So okay. And now come and find their percentage equal to this one divided by the total. Pick the total and then hit OK. And then when you are here, right, select it, change it to percent, that 1 decimal place. So that is it. And then the next one is slight casualty. Slight casualties. And that one, and then others. So you have the slight equal to slight. Okay. And then others equal to this one plus this one. Then hit enter. So when you come here, equal to this one divided by the sum, the total, sorry, equal to this one divided by the total. When you hit on it, and formatting it to percentage with 1 decimal place, you should have this. So this one become this, and this. All right. So this is what we have. This is what we have. And then I'll continue with my pivot table again. So I have this, and then I'll continue with the next one. I'll just copy this and then paste it here. Now I have the the factor, and I can go and look out for another another one. So here I'll remove that of this one from it, and I'll come and add. I'll come and look out for vehicle type and see what is happening. So the vehicle type, accident by vehicle type, and what I will do is that now over here you can see the vehicle type, and when you look at it, you can have a vehicle, we have bus or coach, we have um goods, again, minivan. So what we can do is that we can clearly see that even the cars, we have car types or private hire cars. So we can combine all cars to car, and then we can also make motorbike all ones together and all others. So what I will do is that I'll select one of these, and then I'll come to the pivot table, analyze, and then when you are here, you can see fields, items, and sets. Okay, field, items, and sets. Click on one of them, just click on it. So first of all, you select. If we select this place, what you are looking for will work. So we are selecting one of any of these places, and then we come here. So you come to calculated items, and then you now come and pick formulas. So the first one we want to do is that we want to combine all cars, whichever car is car, we want to combine them. Okay, so we can equally do that in our data sheet. Okay, but because we don't want to distort our data sheet, we don't want to change those things. If we want to do that, we have to create a new columns and stuff to be increasing our data size. We don't want that, so we just want to maintain it and come and do that in our pivot table. So here I'll type cars, name of what I want. I'll type cars, and then when I come to the formula, I'll clean it. And the first thing I'll choose the first car. Okay, so when I double click on it or click, you just click and insert item. Then I'll put plus there, and I'll go and look out for the next one, the next car again. So this is another car, and then you can choose this. Okay, so the first one, because I didn't insert item, it didn't put colon there. So you should know that. So insert item, and then so click OK. So when you come here, you can see that we have cars. Okay, it has inserted cars for us. But one thing is that as soon as you insert that cars, it has increased the total for us. Okay, so what is happening here is that is there is that formula we have calculated, things that what we have calculated has added up again. So what we need to do to make sure that we are back to the normal grand total is that we need to remove what we have added out of the pivot table. So is this one, car and the taxi, private hiring cars. So you come here and then you come and uncheck it. You uncheck the two of them. And once you click OK, we should back to our normal total. Exactly. The ground total should be normal again. So we will do that to that of buses too. So let's go back and then calculate. We do that for, so here we choose bus, and then we sum up all buses. Okay. So this is the first bus. We insert that. We bring plus. We go and look out for the next bus. Mini bus is also bus. So we click on that one. Let's check if there is also another bus. Okay, do you have any bus again? We don't have any other bus aside those two buses. So that's okay. We click OK. Instantly, we also have that one here. Okay. Then we come and deselect it. Come and deselect the bus, the two buses that we've added together. So where is the second one? The mini bus. Good. And you should back again. Let's look at the goods also. We have goods 7.5 tons, and that of this one. So we can't. Okay, so van is here, and that one too is for goods. So it means that we can also use, we can put all of them together as van. So van, and then we look at we are looking at the goods. This one, insert item plus, then we go to the second good, we insert it plus, and then the van, the third one, we insert this one. So then once we are done, we click OK. So we have that one too added up as van over here. Then you go inside and go and remove those goods cars. This one, and this one. Good. Now we have motorcycle. So let's put those one also together. Okay. So we can say we can put all of them together as motorcycle. And then we put all the motorcycles together. So this one plus this. And then another motor. In the motorcycle, I think there are four. Let's say 1, 2, 3, 4. Good. So there are four. So let's insert the fourth one. And then we hit on OK. Good. So you can come and remove it from here. Remove all of them from. Good. So gradually we are lowering it down so that you can have more concise data sets. Okay. So the next one that we want to look at is the next thing that we will look at is we are looking at the hidden horse. We have reading horse, and then pedal, other vehicles. Okay. So what can we use over here? We can put all of them together as others. Okay. We can put all of them together as others. We don't have anything that we put there for them. So others, and then we put those ones together. Okay. So we go and remove those ones too. Good. So now this one too is very short. It makes our data set very clean, and then we can boldly say that okay, we have also have a clean and good data set as well. So with agriculture van, we don't have anything to represent it, so we will leave it like that. So the same thing as we did for the casualties, we can also do the same thing over here. And this one is casualties by this type of cars. Okay, casualties by this type of cars. We have the casualties by agriculture vehicle, casualty by the cars, and then casualty by van, bus, motorcycle, and others. If you don't want to include the agriculture, if you don't extract it, you can still use it well. So let's just leave that one for now. Okay. So the next thing we also look at is that I'll still copy this pivot table, okay, and then paste it again so that my pivot table I will just want to maintain this sheet as an analysis sheet where I'll be doing all my analysis. Okay, just want to maintain this so that I'll be doing all my analysis here. So over here, my second one, the next thing I want to look at for, I will want to consider the 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 month or the year, the casualties by year. Okay. Want to look out for the year. That is, want to see the what are some of the accident rates by year group. Okay. So if that is the case, I can just drop this one vehicle type from the rule, and then I'll go and pick my year and come and drop it. And this gives me the casualties by year. Okay. All right. So same thing. I'll come here and paste the pivot chart again. I want to get another pivot chart. Also, I will continue. So I'll continue and then come and look out for different KPI. All these that we are trying to do when in a business, or they are called KPIs. That is business key performance indicator. Key performance indicator. These ones are the ones that indicate the performance of your business. And when you come to that of the accident, these are the ones that are determining the accident rate. So the KPIs, we are analyzing all the KPIs to see where we fall short so that we can be able to have a comprehensive analysis. Okay. So we have you can now go and look out for the next one as casualties by road type. We have a vehicle type, we can remove it. And then we also have inside we have road type. Good. So we can now come and put it here. Good. And over here too, you can see something. We even have blank and others. So what we will do is when we look at the road type, we have the dual carriageway, we have one-way street, roundabout, single streetway, flip road, and blank. And these are some of the accident type. So because the way this one is, I want us to when we want to the analysis that we are making, it doesn't really it's not even making sense to us yet. However, you can drop this one and check that of the road surface rather. Okay, you can check because we see we have a road surface in the data set. So road as surface condition. So the road surface condition, we can see different types. Good. And it seems it's similar to that of the road type, but we will consider this one rather. Okay. And here we have dry, flood over, frost, snow, wet, and blank. So we can do the same thing as we did over here to this one as well. And if you look at this very well, we can see that the flood, the frost or ice or wet, damp could be put together. We can put all of them together, or we can leave the wet like that, and then you put the snow, frost, and then flood together, or these two together, and that of the wet or damp, and then flood over together. So any way that you want to, depending on your understanding, how you want you understand it, then because the flat could be equivalent to that of wet, and then the snow or frost or ice, they can also equivalent them as well. Okay, so that we won't have so many data sets. Better still, we can just leave them like that, and then you will just do our analysis. So let's just leave it as it is, and then we'll continue with our analysis. So far we have been able to locate some of the KPIs. We can see some of the things through our pivot table, and it's giving us a lot of information already. Okay, from here we see the total casualties, okay, by whether the casualties type, the fatality, the seriousness, and whether it's light or serious. And then you can also see the type of cars that have been involved in the accident, the type of cars that are involved in the accident, the number. You can see that the taxis, the small cars, the private ones are the ones that have involved the most over here. And when you come to the year, you can see that the previous year, the accident in the previous year, which is 2021, was very high compared to the current year. Okay, so you can see that improvement. It's quite reducing small. Okay, and when we come to the road surface type, whether the condition of the road surface of the accident, you can see that during there are more accidents even in the dry, more than even the rain. So which this could tell us that during the dry season, or during when there is no rain, the overspeeding could be a lot of factors. But during this period where we have the snow, the frost, we have the once I do that, it should give me the full month, and then I'll do same to the year. So let me just put it on top marking, because it's using the year, the first one, the first month. It's using the first value over here to calculate, to just pick everything. So in order to do that, in order to do that, to remove that, what I will do is that over here, instead of that, I will delete this year thing, and come and pick this one, this month, and put it there, giving me error. Okay, so instead of this value, extract this particular data set from the month. Good. This one is rather this month, January. I'll delete it from there, the month January, and come and pick this and select. So it should work. Now once I drag or double click, it will pick each of them, this one for me. Now it's very simple. Anytime that when you use that, okay, what happens is that it's pick the first month, the first month, and make it fixed. And once it make it fixed, it can't move again. So when you drag it, it will just be repeating. So what you need to do is that you have to remove that fix there, and go and select the cell rather, so that the cell will duplicate for you. So let me expand it. So I'll just do the same thing to the 2022 as well. So equal to, and then get data from pivot table. Pick this value, and instead of the month January over here, I'll delete it. I'll just clean it and go and pick the January again. Sorry, the January again, and hit OK, the cell. So once I come here and I drag to the last one, it should pick each of them. You see, this is one you can see. So I'll format this text very well. Make it bold and center. And now I can use this to draw my pivot, my chart, so that it can be an interactive chart for me. Okay, so let me pick this. Good. So now you see I can format this chart very well and delete some of the things that I'm seeing over here. So I can format this chart very well, put it wherever I want to put it. So let me just put it beside. Let me put it beside. So I can format it at very well at any time. Okay. So that any point in time that I want to use. We are looking at the 2021 against 2022. So that is how it is. Okay. So we are beginning the visualization. Okay. Yeah, and these are some of these visuals are the ones that we are going to copy to our dashboard and then use for our analysis. So let's take note of that. All right. We will continue, but we will take a break here and then we will continue, God willing, tomorrow. So, and continue with the analysis, God willing, tomorrow. And that we will complete all the Excel analysis and any other thing that we need to add in Excel. And on the following day, Thursday, we begin with Power BI as well. So on this note, we end for the day, we close for the day, and then you all go and have a good rest. God willing, tomorrow we'll continue. Thank you all for staying with me once again. I wish you all the best in the process. Don't forget to ask any questions on the page